PulseCon 2024 is history. It's in the books. We saw a lot of new figures from Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified Series, Star Wars, Transformers, and then we got some news on Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. A lot to dissect, a lot to break down, some highs, some lows, some pleasant surprises, and some major crushing disappointments. Which figures end up in which category? Let's break them all down right now. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Before I go breaking down all the PulseCon reveals, the pre-orders, stop. You're still looking for those X-Men Sentinel 2-packs. They're available right now. I just refreshed on Pulse.com. You can get a couple. I think the limit is 2. Yes, limited 2 per customer. It used to be 5, but who cares? If you've missed out, now's your chance to get those figures, that 2-pack that you missed out on earlier. Now, let's get into PulseCon. Like I mentioned before, we've had the salad days of PulseCon, where it was a 2-day, all-day extravaganza during COVID when we needed desperately some form of entertainment. And getting figure news was really awesome during that time. All the live streams, like, yes, give us some good news during this crazy time in all of our lives. Now, PulseCon's an afternoon. We got a couple lines. Some have been canceled out. So it's like no new Indiana Jones, no new Power Rangers, no new Ghostbusters. It's just, all right, well, we got to work with what we've got. Fortunately, there's still plenty of heavy hitters for Hasbro to break down, show off some new figures. The order was a little bit surprising because the reigning champ, the king of the hill, if you will, G.I. Joe Classified Series went first. And I was thinking, well, this must be a light showing, or they've got really high expectations for all the other brands. So let's break down what we got from the Classified Series. First up was Leatherneck. And we saw the renders of these 4 figures that went up for pre-order outside of the PulseCon exclusive Starduster. I was really excited about Leatherneck. He doesn't disappoint. Really solid looking figure. I like the addition of these goggles or sunglasses, whichever way. They look really cool, and I think they did an excellent job on him. He's a basic dude. He doesn't need a whole bunch of other crazy stuff, but they executed everything that I wanted from Leatherneck. To me, it's always key. You don't have to do the absolute bestest version. All you need to do is for everybody who thinks of a character, if that's how the figure looks, then you've done the job perfectly. And I think Leatherneck really knocks that out. He's got the big bushy mustache. He's got his hat. He's got his grenade launcher, machine gun combo, which made him look so cool and so intimidating, fighting against those Cobra Vipers. And I think these photos really do him justice. I love this shot. You can show exactly how he's going into action. This looks like a real tactical pose. I'm sure my military collectors out there will say, yeah, he's doing that accurately with this pose. And then some others are going to go, what's up with this elbow joint? This is terrible. Whatever. I don't care about that kind of stuff. I'm more interested that the figure looks cool. Leatherneck does indeed look cool to me. And then, of course, you see he's got those removable glasses. So you got the old classic look. I like this bracelet here. Just got a little bit more personality. He's checking the watch, dropping on him. He's got the vest. I mean, his costume isn't too crazy. It's not too ridiculous. Still can work in a real world military setting. The head sculpt looks really good. I like how serious he looks. He's got the backpack, like any good Joe, and he can rest it up against there. He's got one of his boys in the background from his series. That's always fun when we can get that. So the 86th line so far, we've got General Hawk, we've got the retro beachhead, we've got a roadblock, definitely in need of upgrades and improving. Got Sergeant Slaughter, we got low light, making some solid work. Leatherneck here definitely adds into that lineup. Then he's joined by Dial Tone. Try wrong again, Dial Tone. I think they did an excellent job of taking somewhat of a retro design that's probably a little bit outdated. When he was conceived, probably in 84, 85. The technology is way different than it is in 2024, but I think they were able to come up with a great compromise marry the two, that old school design with something from 2024, and it makes sense. It looks great. Good work, Classified Series design team on this one. He's got the beret. I always thought that looked cool for him. A great head sculpt. The render's yard's like, all right, how's it going to turn out? Is it going to be Falcon? Is it going to be Cover Girl? Or is it going to be every other Joe? And I think Dial Tones really looks nice. He's got this setup here with his machine gun that I think is so cool. It's got a little rig where he can set up his cell phone. And they're describing it, Lenny, Tony, breaking it down, saying he can look through little AR. So he's seeing this thing in really updated modern technology deal. So that's fun. This is called the I wrote down my notes, and now, of course, I can't find him. He's got his electric ear and electric eye. That's on the backpack. I'll show it later, but that's fun. So he's got this stuff from back in the day, and it's carried over just fine to modern times. I always thought Daltone had a really cool costume or outfit, and it held up pretty well translated to Classified Series. So you can see here, he's got the cell phone in his hand. It also fits in here. Actually, is this a cell phone? Yeah, this is the clip. That's the cell phone. So as always, they've got the removable clips for the machine guns. I'm wondering if this part comes off. Either way, I really dig that. That seems like something new and cool that he would do. And then the eyepiece still is articulated, comes down so he can look through AR on all kinds of levels. I'm digging this a lot. I'm so glad they didn't decide, oh, this backpack is corny. Let's give him some modern tilt. No need to modernize that. This looks really futuristic even now. So it looks great. And the color combinations with this, what is this, forest green vest, the knee pads. It's just a really cool design. Little khaki shirt, and then the beret. I just dig Dial Tone's look. Here you can see with the eyepiece rolled up here a bit. Then you got all this deal. It's not raining anymore. But these pictures show off how cool this design is. I cannot wait to further flesh out my 1986 squad, because they're going to be doing their missions, competing with Flint's squad. And again, they knocked out all the little subtle details. So he's got both kinds of grenades here. He's got the round one. He's got the more cylinder style grenade. I dig that a lot. And his head sculpt is perfect. He's got a determined expression on his face. He's ready for action. And while Breaker might not always be on a mission, Dial Tone is out there a little bit more often with the rest of the Joes. And then here's that rainy shot, and they were showing his backpack, super updated. It's got a mixer board so it can jam Cobra frequencies. That's fun. You see the cell phone again here, a little bit greater detail for you, and the electric eye. So it's scanning around, plugging in. So when Dial Tone has that eyepiece, he can see behind him. That's a nice touch. And then he's got his patch on his arm. Really well done. Dial Tone is a real star for me. They say he's coming out next year. I doubt it. Maybe a December release. He's going to be one. If he does come out in December, he might be in my top 5. Just how cool he looks. I really dig how they pulled him off there. Next up is a Saw Viper. Keep your quick kicks, your docks, all the heavy metal, all those vehicle drivers, Thunder, well away from him. We don't even have Thunder or heavy metal yet, but geez, keep him away from this guy. I still think he might have a bit too much armor plating. He's going to be really slow, but I think that might make sense for this guy with his rail gun. So on that front, I think that makes a lot of sense for them to go this route with him. Very cool design. I think this works a little bit better. And then they keep adding on to that army builder aspect where you can take the helmet off, show this look, so you can kind of mix and match how your Saw Viper army turns out. I feel like maybe 2, maybe 3 Saw Vipers is really all I need. How many will you be planning to army build with this guy? You see the chainsaw. That's just violent. I like the helmet. I think that still turned out pretty well from the original O-ring design to the Classified Series 1. He's going to be walking slow. He's got a lot of padding. Keep him away from your ninjas, because they'll go to town with this guy who can barely move. He's like walking around in a Tim Burton Batman suit. So we got that. And I think these pictures look really cool too. You can see, you can put this helmet down a little bit more. That's a nice touch. And he can just go to town, blasting away at your Joes, who hopefully found some cover behind the Havoc. But I love this. The magazines just feeding into it. He can grip onto it. And then if he needs to get crazy, he's got a chainsaw. I'm wondering if I can take that out and use it for a better one for Buzzer, because the one he's got is kind of weird. But a lot of protection for this guy. And I dig that design. But I'm thinking maybe 3 should cover all I need from him. So you can see different looks. You can't really see the mouth here, but you can on this one in the background. And I dig the design. And the purple colors look a lot better than they did on the render, which, of course, how are we supposed to judge that just from a render shot? But it looks good. So nice work on the Saw Viper. Tons of detail. He's not one like the Cobra Troopers where I just need to keep building and building and building. More of them. I think 3 for your specialty, heavy armored mauler of Joes is fine. So we got them. And the last one, not these guys. Get to that later. Zandar. We wrap up our Dreadnoks. Well, the twins in the Dreadnoks. We have back-to-back series with twins, Tomax and Zaymont, Zorana and Zandar. I think he looks really cool. I don't know if I would have preferred him to have shorter hair, though. I guess the long hair kind of fits in more with the whole biker gang motif, but I don't know. I kind of liked him with the shorter hair. Here's a better look at it. You can see the shoulder pads, all the design on that. Now, they did mention if you don't like this vest, you can take it off a little hot water, which is great. They have the design. I am assuming they've got the scars / tattoos on the chest. They made a point to mention that is done. There's some design work underneath the vest. So if you want to go with a more retro, classic style, maybe bring him around your Brutus the Barber beefcake figure, get him a little shave and a haircut, 2 bits. And you can take this off and have a fully classic look for Zandar. He's got his scarf from Zorana's jacket. Nice touch. You can see all the skulls because the Dreadnoks are all about the skulls now. Very heavy metal. I dig all the knives because, he's more of an edge weapon Dreadnok. He's not going in there. He's more of a subtle killer, destructor, full metal mayhem. I like this head sculpt, though. I think they did a great job there. You see a little bit more. And you see the scarf is gone. And I think you can get a better sense of how this vest is removable and what it could look like once it's gone. Again, they said just pop the head and got it. So he's got his harpoon gun. I think they did a nice job on old Zandar, the forgotten one, who no one ever remembers what he looks like. So very cool. He's coming to the line. And you can check this out. This is kind of creepy. He's got a scar around his neck. Was it Zartan getting mad at him for getting out of line? Or was it a ninja pulling up a knife and threatening him? Who knows? I like that kind of storytelling aspect to him. Maybe you can cut the hair there if you want. I don't know. Kind of coming around on the longer hair for him. We'll see. But I definitely dig all these skulls. Like this one here looks really creepy. So nice work on this. So Zandar looks good. He looks a lot better, again, than I thought from that initial render reveal. And then they tease this. And this is their big, hey, this is what we're going to be doing for our name reveal. The hunt for the mass device. They give us a Build-A-Figure or just a deluxe set of the mass device. I'm going to lose my mind. And they were saying the internet's going to blow up over Lyle's Figure Files. I'm pretty excited about this too. Which way are they going to go with it? Are they going to just do catalytic element parts? And how are they going to do those elements? So, and then are they going to include new characters like Colonel Sharp that they can throw in the mix with these different aspects? Are they just going to go full on Build-A-Figure or build a set with it? I don't know. Lots of possibilities. Maybe they'll do like they did with that SMS set that we have from Cobra with the his tank, which I think is still sitting around on Pulse. If you still need it, let me see here. Yes. It probably would be a lot more than that, though. But let's see. So, of course, the scale's way off, but maybe they could kind of do something like this with it and just make it a standard solo release. Dump your additional character. We might not need it with this because you got to make it wider. And I don't know. Maybe there's a possibility. It's just a straight up pre-order release deal. So who knows? I'm excited about the possibilities for a mass device. And if we get this, I'm going to want the weather dominator and figure out whatever kind of way they can jury rig or make the pyramid of darkness. Maybe they set up that rig that Destro used when the original one was broken down, that kind of makeshift one, and they just give us black boxes, which I'm like, oh, this is so amazing. Could have gone to IKEA and got them. Maybe I should look to IKEA, get some black spray paint. I've got my pyramid of darkness boxes. Anyway, they weren't revealed today. But what was revealed, which was very cool, was this guy. And they were like, hey, we forgot to show you guys our rendered figures. Tune in to our socials. And I was like, what are you doing? But they did post them, and now I can react to them. Heavy duty, very cool. Nice job on this guy. And I like this head sculpt. Kind of gives me a little bit of Terry Crews vibes. I don't know. You guys see it maybe? He definitely looks different than Roadblock, which was key and very essential to me. I think they did a really good job with his rig here. So you can see he's got the missiles, he's got the blast effect parts. So you've got Metalhead already. You got Heavy Duty to fight him now. There's some really nice details, some scarring on this part of it. So we'll see. I'm very curious to see how they're going to pull off Heavy Duty actually wearing this. You see he's got his eyepiece here. He's got his old school 90s fade, even with the lines in the hair. That's really fun. Really cool. He's got his little ammo belt here too, some knives when he needs to go up close and personal with some dreadnoughts. And you see this pattern on the pants, kind of nice, little fun deal there too. And he's got the hooked horns, the bull of the wool, if you will, the bull of the woods, if you will, not the bull of the wool. What is that? Anyways, got his grenades, got his hat. I'm really digging how Heavy Duty turned out, and he's got his headphones as well. Really solid work. I'm really impressed with how he turned out. One other render we got was this guy and his pal, Law and Order. Great head sculpt. Love the fact that he's got an Uzi. He's got his stick. He's got all kinds of mutt hands to further order to move in some sort of directions. He's got handcuffs. He's got a pistol. He's got a knife. And then we've got some little gear for Order too. So what is this piece? Is this a mask for him or for Order? I don't know. No, maybe this is the muzzle piece for Law. I don't know. We're figuring out live as we go through it. Order looks awesome. He's got the good boy head sculpt, and he's got the angry I'm coming for you Zartan head sculpt as well. I mean, this is one of these deals where it's like, yeah, it'll probably go on discount to like $10 later on, but I don't know if I really want to wait on these two. I really dug them. So the colors look right. Sometimes they tweak the colors a little bit too muted, lose some of the fun of those designs. I don't think that's the case here. Law and Order's color scheme looks great. Can't wait to get these guys. Very excited about them. That was it for the Joe reveals. And I know it was like, when we saw that schedule breakdown, originally was like, how is G.I. Joe just getting 20 minutes? That's how. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of reveals. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get more name only reveals, because of course, thinking about the mass device, like, well, what does that even mean? Who knows? We'll figure that out later. All the stuff they did show, I'm excited about. I'm going to buy, which means G.I. Joe Classified Series, as you could have told from the shirt, was my winner for PulseCon, simply because I didn't have a head scratching reveal or something where it's like, why did they go with that direction for this character? Why did they choose this character for this wave? None of that. I want all of them. Bring them on. That's the thing with Classified Series. They're going to release more and more figures. Then unless there's some weird variant of army builders, I'm going to buy. So that continues to be the case with this line. Let's break it on down with some more reveals from other brands, from our good friends over the Star Wars side. And I did, as always, keep account of the many times they said something was iconic. This time it was 5. Not too bad for them. Sometimes I think I've counted as many as 10. So this is improvement. Of course, this is only a 20-minute segment, so there you go. So first up, we actually get a prequel trilogy edition character. Got some Clone Wars love coming. We even got a video game character. It was like, this is amazing. And a book character. Craziness. So anyway, first up, a clone. And I'm always happy to get some more clones. This one's Clone Commander Bacara. We've already got our Ki-Adi Mundi figure. So now we get the traitorous clone who turned on him during that battle scene and that really cool snowy backdrop. And they've got some nice elements to him. You can see he's got this different chest piece, which is different than we've seen from other ones. Soft goods, skirt piece, very nicely done here. And of course, the one thing with these Black Series clones, they keep giving us the commanders, the name ones. I need to get some of these guys to match up with his color scheme that aren't name clones, because I mean, clone commanders are awesome, but we need some clones for them to lead into battle too, because he doesn't really translate easily into a generic basic army builder. I think if they were to incorporate some ways where you could kit out these clone commanders, we could take the pieces off and have an army builder right underneath, I think they'd be onto something. But he looks really solid. Looking forward to seeing him on April Fool's Day or also January 1st, whichever one comes first. So we'll see. Looking forward to grabbing him. Very excited. More clone troopers. Then from Clone Wars, we got the Commando droid. And this is definitely one, when they name announced it, I was like, yes, finally. This is a really cool clone, not clone, a Commando droid, a battle droid that actually has some confidence in a fight scene. It's not just sitting there ready to get walloped by a Jedi. It's a little bit formidable. You see this big blade. He's got a blaster too. So this is a fun addition. Very excited about this. The Star Wars team was bragging about how well articulated this figure is. Hopefully those knees, those ankles don't get really weak over time, because that would be the only disappointment with this one. So hopefully they stand up and they're sturdy and can endure regular degree temperatures without wilting and toppling over. I'm going to get a bunch of these, maybe 4 or 5, because the Jedi need a threat beyond the standard basic battle droid. Very happy with this. Glad to see they haven't forgotten the Clone Wars. So good stuff. Really happy there. Then we got Prince Xizor from Shadows of the Empire. And this is really cool because, they haven't really done a lot of these in the past. We're still really behind in terms of the non-movie characters who had an imprint, who mattered. And Xizor looks really cool. And very happy with this. The design, of course, looks great. And the way they incorporated soft goods sleeves, they still got the plastic pieces for the bottom part of the robe, but I think going there with that direction, the sleeve element was smart. They look really good. Got as much articulation as you need. For those of you not familiar, here's a shot of Shadows of the Empire. Very cool. We got Dak on the side. Hopefully this means we'll see Dak coming up real soon, because what's the point of giving us the main villain without the main hero for this deal too? So hopefully that won't be the only time they visit Shadows of the Empire and those characters from that, in addition to our main original crew. I really dig this back piece. That looks cool. So we can see all that's designed. The detail in the spine, very cool. You can see let's go do this too, so we can pull out all the detail. The ponytails, the dual ponytails, looks really cool. That was funny they mentioned that as an accessory. I was like, no, that's part of the hair. But he looks really solid. Xizor, definitely well done. Look, I feel like they don't get enough credit, but they do put some really great work with the texture, with the detail, with the patterns of these robes, and they really do solid work with them. So a little bit of applause coming your way, Star Wars Black Series team. Good work. Happy about this one. And then we get a Gaming Grace edition. And you guys know I really love the Cal Kestis video games, Fallen Empire or Fallen Jedi, Jedi Order. Yeah, I'm sure I butchered totally those names, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm really excited to see we're actually getting somebody from this with Jedi Survivor. We're getting Dagon Gera. I haven't played this game yet, so I'm really happy about this. Get a new character, if you will. And he's only got a left arm. Very interesting design here. I'm excited about this because it looks like we actually have somebody for Cal to fight who's not a fifth brother, an inquisitor, whatever. Very cool. The design on the robe, awesome. And still looks like we're not really suffering from any cool or issues with the articulation. Very nice design. Cool. I mean, it looks like an elf who's fighting Cal here. So very good stuff. I'm really excited about this. And probably by the time I actually get the figure, I will have played the game after I get my PS5. But really excited about this. Hopefully they don't forget about Fallen Order and we get some more of those characters as well because we still need some from that section of the Star Wars universe. I'm very happy about that. Then we got A New Hope / Star Wars, Luke Skywalker. I kind of dig this one. I think the head sculpt is pretty decent from Mark Hamill. I just feel like he's one that, despite all the advances in the technology, they still kind of struggle getting just right. I think some of it is how are we coloring his hair? Is it all brown? Should it have more blonde highlights? Is his hair gold on a figure? And that's when they kind of get shortchanged and kind of losing their way. This one comes with binoculars so I can go look out, see if he can find R2. He comes with a lightsaber. I kind of wish he would also come with a blaster too. That way we would have all the important elements of Luke Skywalker in Star Wars before he joins up with the rebellion and gets his X-Wing togs. But there you go. Solid looking Luke Skywalker. Pretty happy with this. He has the lightsaber that he only uses to train, which I always think is so funny. Every time we get a New Hope Star Wars Luke Skywalker, it comes with a lightsaber, and he only ever uses that when he's training with the droid. I mean, he doesn't even need the lit saber because unless he's coming with that training droid, he never ignites it. But we got it. Who cares? It's there. If you want to have it unlit, you can also attach it here to this little lip here. And the binoculars also fit along the belt as well. I think here's a better look at the head sculpt. So you can see, I mean, I can definitely see Mark Hamill here. I just think the hair color is a little bit off, and that's where they're kind of missing it. This figure, you can see it's a little bit plastic, not soft goods this time out. If you want that land speeder one, you've got that in the tank. Then, of course, you got Leia, you got Luke, you get Leia too. And they made a point to say, well, we didn't make her soft goods, and this time it's more of a form over function. So you should expect absolutely no articulation whatsoever here. Maybe you can use this one for a Rogue One, Princess Leia. She got the hood piece as well. And they didn't show any action shots of her, which I do not think were an accident. So we've got this, and this is the Death Star, or the Death Star, the Rebel ship corridor where she meets up with R2D2, gives him the plans to destroy the Death Star. I love these mural artwork pieces. This looks really good here. And Leia doesn't have a lot. She's got a blaster. Maybe she can let Luke borrow it. She's got her blaster so she can stun or take out the stormtrooper, and then she gets stunned. And then you got the hood, and it looks like this whole deal just swaps out. So you kind of lose this piece and then put this right up over. So I'm looking forward to getting her. I have a figure arts Leia from Star Wars, so this one should be fine, provided I don't ever get a Black Series Millennium Falcon. But we'll see about that. So some strong additions from the Black Series line. There are, of course, a ton of vintage collection offerings. I'll look at those really fast. Here's another look at Leia and all of her posability. So you can see she's going to be a cone, but you don't always need her to move all around. She's not going to be the Princess Leia you have displayed in the Death Star prison cell where Luke Skywalker comes to rescue her. She's not going to be able to hit any of those poses, but you wanted to have her blasting some stormtroopers. I think that's about it, because I don't know if she can even bend down to insert the disc in R2, but whatever. She's not one lacking for figures. Here's a look at the vintage collection, Luke Skywalker. So for all of you who back that cantina, here you go. There's your Luke Skywalker. This one is interesting that the head sculpts look so different. You can see here, His hair is a little bit more true to how it looked in Star Wars, a lot lighter, not as much brown. The nose seems to be a little bit off, but I don't know. It's okay. The articulation looks like it's going to be pretty good. And this is why they can charge so much for these figures, unless you catch them on a clearance price where they're like $11 as opposed to 20. They've gotten pretty expensive now. Let me do a quick breakdown of all the vintage collection figures. Let's go on over to our pals at Entertainment Earth. They can fully show us all the vintage collection reveals right here. So let's do that now. All right, so we got Dedra from Andor. We've got a clone lieutenant. This is what I'm talking about. Just a basic army builder to go along with Rex. We got Anakin. We got Luke. I don't know. Their noses both seem off, and they don't really look like they're related. But anyway, I always feel like they keep making Anakin's head sculpts where he looks like he's wearing a toupee. I've got to figure out a way to sink that hair in a little bit deeper. See how Dedra's hair looks natural and Luke's sort of looks natural? Anakin's always gives him a 5 head, and the hair still sits up too high. Then here's Luke. We've already broken him down. Nice to see that he can hold the lightsaber with both hands, though. And so it looks pretty solid, pretty cool. Then we've got, oh yeah, from Acolyte, that hit show that no one wants to acknowledge anymore. And the figures are sitting. Here's Zandar. I mean, her figure looks good articulation, but will there be a demand? I did note that they didn't show us that pose with this vintage collection version, so we'll see. Here's Dedra, a strong female Imperial officer, as they said on the panel. I don't know what made her stronger than anybody else, but whatever. Solid looking head sculpt. She's got that always constantly perturbed expression, really well done. I'm trying to remember. It's been a second since I've watched Andor, but did she pull a gun out ever? So this is cool. I wish they'd given her little trench coat where she could rock that going down to go find Cassian. But good work on this head sculpt, and I think they pulled off her figure pretty well. Here's Anakin from the World Between Worlds. Yeah, this head sculpt's still kind of dodgy to me, but in all the other ways that matter, it's solid. Like, I don't get these figures from Vintage Collection anymore. But look at this. I mean, you can see they're really missing this gap from the head, the eyebrows to the hair. They're just not quite getting it. His forehead is too pronounced. And they got to work on that. Here's your clone lieutenant, also from Ahsoka, because, why not? Tie it into something that's current day Star Wars as opposed to the prequels of the Clone Wars. I don't care. This fits in just fine. So there you go. So that's it for the Star Wars. I was really impressed. The fact that we got a gaming grades character who's not just the generic army builder. We got a Shadows of the Empire character. We got a Clone Wars army builder. We got another clone commander. So good work. Good showing for the Black Series team. No more pipeline reveals. I was kind of hoping to get some more name only or some teasers of some more figures to come. But I was really impressed with what they did, which is very unusual as it's normally been. There was one other reveal that they showed off that I thought was interesting. If you also back this Mos Eisley Cantina, they got another play set for you. And this is why I'm always jealous of the vintage collectors, because not only do you get a HasLab, but you get this really cool play set. This is the streets of Mos Eisley, not the streets of 110th Street. But it's really cool. You get a Jawa and you can throw in more. I did notice that they made a point to go, hey, if you buy more than one, you can continue building it out. I don't really think that's the greatest selling point. How about just go, hey, here's everything you need. And if you wanted to, you could add on to it. I think it's a little bit weird to say, hey, I mean, you got a play pattern here, but it's not really complete until you buy more than one, especially when it's not a $20 set. Now, this one is not ridiculously expensive. It's his own only. He says sarcastically, $59.99. I don't think that's a terrible price for it. Actually, it's a pre-order, so you don't have to worry about it. Maybe it'll come around the same time as your Cantina, but it looks solid. I mean, it's got your gate, basically. It's got the droid hand out the door. Ushota. They got a Jawa. That looks solid. here's some more looks and all the accessories included with it. The job was really loaded out, as you can see. And it's modular, so you can do all kinds of different configurations if you so choose. The job actually comes on a card, so that's nice for those of you who care about that. I just love the name of this thing. The Streets of Mos Eisley. I think this is where they should include a sand pack. So you could just insert that in there. But not a bad play set. I always think it's fun that they include those in there for collectors. And they typically, tie in with your Cantina HasLab in this case. So there you go. Solid offerings all around for Star Wars. Now let's go to Marvel Legends. The most controversial one to me. So first up, we get another addition to the Spider-Man animated series VHS packs, Spider-Man and Vulture, and it's a pretty solid looking set. Spider-Man definitely has that animated series look with the eyes, pinless, thankfully. So you don't have to worry about the red peeping through here. Then he's got a great, this is a Peter Parker head sculpt that they've shown already. Unmasked head sculpt though. So he's got the mask hanging loose there. That's very cool. I like to see that. And this looks like this is on the Renew Your Vows body. So you got all the cool stuff there. Articulated toes as well. The Vulture, he might be enough to convince me to get this set though, because it did kind of dig that time period where Vulture was young Vulture. So that's kind of fun. So we got this look for him. The wings that they've used all over for Falcon and Vulture figures. I think he looks pretty clean. Nice job on the armor. And they can hit that really cool pose as well. So solid work on this guy. And they also included an old man head sculpt too. So you get the best of both worlds. And I think that little touch might be all I need to kind of go, yeah, I think I can go with this too. So nice work on this set. Here's what Spider-Man comes with. And if you note, this mask is cloth. And then it comes with a Flash Thompson head sculpt. I just did a video about the civilian characters we need to see. And this one, I think, while he might skew a little bit cartoonish, I think I could use him. Maybe with the civilian figure we've already got. Maybe I'll take that bazooka from the Classified series and the New England Patriots Tiger Force gear. Maybe I'll put that on Flash and or use that for the body and then slap on this Flash head sculpt there. I don't know. Kind of dig that. $49.99. So, it's the same as your typical Marvel Legends solo figures if you bought them 2 at a time. So there you go. And there's all the extras that come with Vulture. Not a whole lot, but I do dig the fact that we've got both head sculpts. The colors look nice and clean. He's got the grasping hands. Hopefully the wings stay plugged in. It's always been a problem with that mold. They kind of flip off a little bit too easily for my liking, but there you go. So we got that. And let's see here. I've already gone through all the clean pictures. So then we get maybe like the worst kept secret. Marvel's Superheroes Secret Wars 40th anniversary this year. So it's exciting, right? Like you think about Secret Wars, you probably, if you're old enough to remember, you read it back in the day. This is what you think of. This iconic. This is actually iconic image of all the heroes rallying on the attack. They're charging, ready to do the thing. And in full fairness to the Hasbro's Marvel Legends team, we've gotten a lot of these guys already. They don't need to do a different version, but if they're going to do some improvements, do some changes to some characters, there are a few they could have done some stuff with. So, just taking a quick perusal through here. Yeah, I mean, we got Captain Marvel. She's solid. We got a Benjamin Grimm. Got a Johnny Storm. We don't really need those guys done all over again. Got a solid Nightcrawler. We got Rogue more or less. They could have fixed that head sculpt or just included another head sculpt. We got a Captain America in the 20th anniversary line. We got a Wolverine, of course. We got a Hawkeye. And we could have used She-Hulk. She's one that kind of stands out as like, oh, yeah, we do need a She-Hulk in her Secret Wars attire. And we got Cyclops, but he's probably due for an update. And then there's a plethora of villains. And for all of the wish lists, especially on last night's live where you guys said, here's what I want to see from the Secret Wars lineup. The Wrecking Crew, they were without a doubt number one. Absorbing Man, Titania were frequently paired as a two-pack. Some folks wanted a Molecule Man that was more in scale. I was definitely one of those. So there was a lot of hope, a lot of thoughts for what they would do with this lineup. And this one kind of left me underwhelmed because it was just more of the typical, here's something that you got all these expectations for. And I think with the Strange Tales wave, I know some of you were like, I can't believe they botched this one so much. I mean, Strange Tales could encompass so much. Secret Wars, especially when they go, this is the anniversary of Secret Wars. There's not a lot of room for interpretation. It's this. That's Secret Wars. That's the one that has its 40th anniversary. So I got leery real quick, right away, when they showed the first figure from this lineup, for this wave, the Beyonder. And he was certainly one, and I will not hate, because there were a lot of you who in the live last night were going, oh man, the Beyonder. Hopefully we'll see this guy. And I was like, okay. I mean, he was not visible. He was not shown in human form during the original Secret Wars. So I was like, I don't really understand why we would want him, but we got him. We got him, R2. And I do dig the fact that they included the shields, the squares for the bad guys, the circles for the heroes. That's a nice touch to the original toy line. And I'm looking and they go, yeah, we made some tweaks to these guys from the original line. And yeah, I mean, the Beyonder wasn't here in this thing originally. He didn't show up until later. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, why did they do the Beyonder? This doesn't make a lot of sense. And so then we get, I'm thinking of Beyonder, Secret Wars 2. That's what I'm thinking when I think of him. I'm like, that figure doesn't match this design whatsoever. His jacket had a lot more poof to it than this streamlined, very tailored jacket. And I'm like, why are we getting this look for him? And of course, I did a little bit of Google searching. And that's all the Hasbro team needs to do. I encourage them to do this when they're looking up these designs for the characters, because this is what I think a lot of people were thinking of when they think of the Beyonder. Secret Wars 2 attire, not New Avengers 29. This is what they use for the model. And this is why this drives me nuts. If you're going to do the Beyonder and you go, this is from Secret Wars, this is the 40th anniversary of Secret Wars, don't give us this New Avengers, this modern look of the Beyonder. That doesn't make any sense. So you can see how closely this matches up. Collar, much tighter. He's not wearing baggy outfits anymore. It's all nicely tailored and trim, just like this version. We don't get this goofy look. And if we're going to get the Beyonder, and I didn't really care about getting him, I probably eventually would have gotten this look for him. And we don't get this. And it's like, I think you guys kind of missed the point of your 40th anniversary of Secret Wars. And then we get another figure that was a little bit disappointing as well. It's Titania. And I was like, yes, we got Titania. Great. She was one that I wanted to see. She was on my top 10 list of characters, hoping to see revealed in this lineup of Secret Wars. And of course, I'm like looking, and it takes too long because I'm like, what's the deal with the outfit here? And they did get the spikes on the side. That's great. That's really cool. And I love the angry head sculpt. It makes sense for her. She's intense. She's fired up. She's got the spikes on her arms too. Interesting. Okay, I do see them here now. All right. So we got those. That's covered. They got the boots done just right. They did make sure to mention she does have the thigh cut. It's hidden under the boot. That's good. She's got that torso, which looks like it should allow her to have excellent articulation so she can ground and pound She-Hulk, Spider-Man, the X-Men, you name it. She's all covered. But then I can't help but get irritated looking at this torso piece. And let's go through all these. This is what she looks like in Secret Wars, the original, the 40th anniversary look that they're going for. And I just don't understand why we need to color this in. I mean, are we really worried about the sensitive moms at Target who go, I'm not buying you this, Johnny? She doesn't have a pink shirt underneath. I mean, what does that even mean? I mean, how she rock this? She's putting on a little tank top and then she's putting on her skin tight leather outfit over it. Like, I just don't understand. She looks cool. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy her, of course. I'm absolutely buying this figure. She has been on my list of characters that I've wanted for a long time. I just don't understand why we've got to do this pearl clutching with outfits where she's still wearing more clothes than Namor or Hercules. Hercules. Just do the costume. And if you get some complaints for some sensitive mothers group later on, okay, whatever. But let's stop messing around. Let's just do the costume right. Let's not go, well, we got to be careful in case somebody's upset. Nah, just go nuts. Just do the costume. I mean, it's not like it's any less risque. And you paint in the midsection there. And I'm glad to see at least she's not a board. That's great. I mean, this costume looks cool, and they pretty much executed it right. She could have gotten a little bit more 80s hairstyle, a little bit poofed up hair as opposed to this more calm. This does kind of resemble more of a modern Titania. So let's see if I can pull that up really fast because I immediately recognize this look with the filled in top. I'm curious if this is exactly what I'm thinking of here. Let's see if I can pull that up. No, because Google, I have to do some serious work to find this look, which I just think is so funny. It's like they find the most obscure images of these characters to go with. And it's like, why are you doing this? Just for fun. In the cartoon, this is what we got here. And this is what Titania looked like in the cartoon. And a cartoon, which is totally designed for kids. So look here. She's got the comic book appropriate look. What are they doing with the figure? We got to paint this torso in. Okay. I feel like I've gone on this too long, but it's just kind of goofy. And we don't need to act like these $25 figures aren't for adults, adult collectors. Next up, this one I kind of figured we're going to have to take a couple L's in terms of the character selection. Yeah, we're going to have to get some of the heavy hitters. But man, this is kind of disappointing to see this. It's the Symbiote Spider-Man, and they have done this figure so many times. I had the pin version. They've since done the pinless version. I don't really understand why we needed this one outside of the, hey, it's Spider-Man. We got to get him in this set. You see he's got his trick or treat shield going. That's cool. Nice job. He's got squinty eyes going. But I mean, we've gotten this Spider-Man multiple times. And yes, I know we couldn't do this without getting that Secret Wars 8 cover reenacted. But I mean, I'm kind of doing that on my own. Didn't really need another version of this figure to pull that off. Yeah, he's got great posability. Yeah, he's got pinless joints. And there you go. The iconic Spider-Man pose. Spider-Man's got a new costume. This one feels like a real wasted slot. And they've already enhanced this figure enough times that this is not necessary. I'm really confused by this one. Next up, Wolverine. This was the figure that they showed at the booth at Comic-Con. And they're like, I fooled you. You guys thought this was for the video game. And I feel like everybody kind of pieced this together earlier. This is not going to be the one that you want unless you want the homage to the original toy. You can see the colors a little bit off, not quite comic book accurate. They've got the tiny stripe, and that is accurate to the old figure. And it's kind of interesting that this was the one they decided to go, hey, let's do an homage to the figure, as opposed to let's just do this look. So you can see this is the classic look of that original figure. They joked, hey, maybe we should make the claws detachable. And and I thought my jokes were bad. So we got this Wolverine, and I mean, if you want the full on shout out to that original look, okay. I mean, if they wanted to do that with this line, okay, I guess that works. But we're still gonna need an updated Wolverine with this brown and orange attire. This isn't gonna be the one that gets it done. Maybe an X-Men 97 Wave 3, but not this one. So then that's Wolverine. Then we get Iron Man. And it's like, what are we even doing, people? So we got this figure. And I don't know if I could have been more annoyed. Because maybe I would have bought this figure if a couple things were done differently. If we don't have this light blue arc reactor piece like the hologram one that was not quite right, but they tweaked it just to make it different. Like, okay, whatever. If they had included the eyes so we could see the Iron Man eyes cut out in this mask, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I dig that. But this is pinless, and I know a lot of people are excited at the fact that we get this figure finally with the pinless look. But I'm just kind of like, why are we still doing this version of Iron Man again? Y'all have pretty much perfected it outside of something you still didn't fix. And he's got the accessory piece that the original figure came with, and I know they were excited. I was like, okay, cool. Now, the one thing that I did think was nice, they added the roller skates. And in my notes, I wrote, Iron Man's got roller skates. That is cool, but I'm just kind of like, is that cool enough to warrant buying yet another Iron Man with an arc reactor piece? That's still not right. And we're still using the same old pieces for his blast, his repulsor blast. This would have been a great time to do something new and different. Same energy trail effects too. So it's just, I don't quite understand that. There's the mask or the shield, so you can see it's Tony Stark underneath, even though it's really Rhodey in here. I think it would have been fun if they did this deal where you see Rhodey and Stark's face on there. So that's something they could have done that might have made me go, okay, this time it's worth picking up. But not so. Just in case you don't remember or don't quite understand why I'm complaining so much about how they're painting the center of Iron Man's armor, this is what it should look like. It should be yellow, not blue, not anything else, just straight up yellow. So it looks like it's still part of the armor. And they didn't give us that look. And I'm just still confused why we're getting yet another Iron Man in this armor that doesn't have the correct color. So this is so confusing to me. I'm baffled. I'm befuddled. I don't get it. Let me see if I can pull it up really fast for you. Man, guy. Let's see if I can flip this up quickly. No, because that'd be too much like right. Let's try it again. Marvel Legends, Iron Man. Let's do it that way. Riveting stuff for those of you listening on the radio. All right. Marvel Legends. So many Iron Man figures. It's kind of ridiculous because it's like, oh, wait, which one? Oh, yes, this version. So many. Anyway, take my word for it. This is yet another attempt. We still don't have it right just yet. So it's frustrating because this would have been a great time to do that. Make that figure and that design as opposed to going with the inaccurate blue once again. And then the last one, and this one would have been another one that was really easy. Like, great, this is the look I wanted. I'm buying this figure now. And I mean, we've all said this several times. Captain America, but it's not the Cap we wanted. This is still the shadowless Captain America. So we're missing that nice black shading. I'm not quite sure if I like the head sculpt. He's intense. Maybe a little bit too intense for Cap. I do dig the fact that he's got the cracked, broken shield. This was a story point in Secret Wars that his indestructible shield is broken. And then that's cool for that. I'm not so sure I like this smiling head sculpt. He looks a little bit crazed. I kind of feel like both of these head sculpts, this super smiley one and this angry, intense one, almost work better for John Walker. So maybe I'd take my black and red and white Captain figure and have him fight this crazed John Walker Captain America. And this guy's a real goofus. He's smiling and saluting with his broken shield. Watch out, Cap. That'll cut you. So I feel like they just needed to avoid doing anything extra. Just shade the mask in there and we're good. I think these head sculpts are a little bit too intense for the Captain America we got. And once again, you're still not getting a classic big shield with any of these Captain America figures. So good luck. So here you go. Here's the full hero list from the Secret Wars lineup. And it just kind of is like, all right, cool. I guess we got another Captain America with a broken down shield. We got Symbiote Spider-Man. We've gotten several times. We've got an Iron Man again. We've got another Wolverine. And I know some of you all were complaining big time on the chat last night about how they continue to bring back more Iron Man, more Wolverine, more Spider-Man, more Captain America. And I was like, well, yeah, they're the heavy hitters. And yeah, Wolverine, I think, is actually different enough to warrant getting done. But Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Cap, it's like, I think Cap is just poorly executed in terms of making him different enough that people would have wanted to buy him. I think there's some viability in a shattered Captain America shield. Give us that black mask for the Cap, I would have bought this figure. And he's also pinless, unlike the 20th anniversary one. So there is that. And I know some of you are very excited about that, but just didn't do enough for me. And then we got a fan vote winner. And this one was interesting. They had one of the options was you could choose between Dan's favorite. You could do Ryan's favorite or Dwight's. And I was thinking Dwight's favorite's got to be a green and yellow Banshee. Let's make him be the winner just so we can see it. And no, we got Dan's favorite, Nightcrawler from Uncanny X-Force. And Uncanny X-Force is a great book. Highly recommend it. It's a fun read. Just some crazy stuff. And bring back the Age of Apocalypse in a way that makes sense. And this Nightcrawler is going to look really cool with those characters. And in case you did not read it, here's just a quick glimpse of those figures, those characters all together. And Marvel has done pretty solid in terms of getting us most of that team. Got Phantom X, maybe Deadpool. We need a different version. We got Deathlock for sure. Psylocke. Probably need an updated Apocalypse influenced Archangel. Wolverine, of course. And then there's Nightcrawler. So really cool. And, you know, for all real intents and purposes, we're going to get this team finished. And that's exciting. So, yeah, I mean, we do get him. But, boy, it's so weird. The teams, the Marvel Legends squad is focusing on getting completed as opposed to the, hey, where's Sparrow? Let's knock out the original X-Force. Still waiting. So we'll see. And then just really quickly, because, you know, I'm not the Transformers head. This some of you all are, but I was excited to see a few of these. So here they go. Tarn's back. That was cool to get him back in rotation. Let's see. More of them. Cosmos, the one figure I had to pre-order today. I missed out on him earlier. I was not going to do so again. A leader class overcharge. He looks cool. Kind of has that leader one look to him. We also got leader class Galaxy Shuttle. Deluxe class Breakdown Armada Universe Wheeljack. Origin class Deluxe Bumblebee. And then Ramjet, one that I'm probably going to get soon too. And let's see if they're still in stock or they've sold out now. Still available. So really, you don't get them at this point. The Sentinels, you just didn't want them enough or didn't have the money, whichever way. So let's take a quick roll through of everything. These post-con exclusives, the Black Series Stap and Battle Droid, Kang the Conqueror, Classified Series Starduster, our Transformers 1, MDLX Megatron, then an Elita 1, the Dinobot Dino King multi-pack, Transformers 1 Prime, and Bumblebee, and the Vintage Collection figures, the Armor Electronic Helmet, $17 for Vintage Collection figures just does not seem right. Doesn't sit well with my wallet. The Animated Series 2-pack, Titania, Cap, Wolverine, Beyonder from Secret Wars, the 40th anniversary. You know what we're talking about. So that's it. Let me think of my big winner on this one. It's going to be weird. Might be a little bit crazy. But I'm going to go with Classified Series. They won. They just delivered what they should. Could they have shown off more stuff? Yes, of course. But what they showed was great. I'm really excited about Heavy Duty and Law and Order joining the lineup. Thought Leatherneck and Dial Tone were executed perfectly. I want to see what Zandar looks like without the big vest, but I think they pulled it off pretty well. Saw Viper, solid figure as well. And the two renders were exciting. Star Wars, pretty impressive releases. Not necessarily everything I wanted to see, but definitely got some more stuff and not too many peeps out of Mandalorian, which was good. So I'm excited about that. Marvel Legends, happy about Titania. Not so much about the full-on paint job. in the animated series Vulture and Spider-Man. I thought those were cool. I thought they could have done that Secret Wars lineup a lot differently. Some of you have already reached out and said, oh man, I'm so excited about the Secret Wars lineup. I'm not, but I'm happy that you are. So that's my take on everything from PulseCon 2024. Let me know in the comments what you thought, what you pre-ordered, and what were you disappointed that you did not see revealed here. Next month we got Pulse 1027. Woo, woo. So we'll see some more reveals. So we'll see what happens on that end. But for now, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Hope you have an awesome weekend. This episode of Loud Figure Files has been filed.